Welcome 1973 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, right? But hidden among billions of ordinary coins, there exists one specific piece that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and rewritten the rules of coin collecting forever. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1973p quarter dollar, a coin so deceptively normal that most people wouldn't even glance at it twice. Yet under the right conditions, it has been rumored to reach an unbelievable value of up to $73 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $73 million for a single quarter. And before you dismiss this as just another internet myth, stay with me, because the truth behind this coin is far more fascinating than fiction, and what's coming next in this series might completely change how you look at every coin you own. Now let's break this down, because the 1973p Washington quarter isn't supposed to be rare at all. Millions were minted, and on the surface, it's just another clad coin featuring George Washington. No silver content, no obvious uniqueness, nothing that screams fortune. But that's exactly what makes this story so dangerous and exciting at the same time, because the value doesn't come from what the coin was meant to be. It comes from what went wrong. Back in 1973, the Philadelphia Mint was operating at full speed, producing quarters for everyday circulation. During this time, the Mint was transitioning between different die setups and production calibrations, and like any large-scale operation, mistakes were inevitable. Most errors were caught and destroyed, but just a few, managed to slip through unnoticed. And those are the coins that collectors obsess over today. One of the most legendary versions of the 1973p quarter is believed to be a rare transitional error, struck on a planchet that wasn't meant for quarters at all. Some experts speculate that a small number of these coins may have been struck on silver planchets left over from earlier years, or even experimental metal compositions that were never intended for circulation. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary but carries a composition that shouldn't exist. That alone is enough to send collectors into a frenzy. But that's just the beginning. There are also reports of double die obverse errors on certain 1973p quarters, where the design elements, especially the lettering and Washington's profile, appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the minting process. To the untrained eye, it might look like a minor blur, but to a collector, it's a jackpot. And then there are off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even coins with die cracks so dramatic they almost look like lightning bolts frozen in metal. Each of these errors adds another layer of rarity, another reason why one of these coins could skyrocket in value. Now here's where things get even more intense. Over the years, there have been whispers in the coin collecting community about a perfect storm version of the 1973p quarter, a coin that combines multiple rare features at once. Imagine a quarter struck on the wrong metal with a double die in near-perfect uncirculated condition. That kind of coin doesn't just become valuable, it becomes legendary. Some collectors believe that one such coin exists, possibly sitting in a private collection, or worse, circulating unnoticed in everyday change. And that's what makes this story so gripping, because it means the treasure hasn't been fully discovered yet. Auction records for high-grade error quarters have already reached staggering amounts, with some rare specimens selling for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But when you combine extreme rarity, historical significance, and collector demand, the theoretical value can explode into the millions. The $73 million figure isn't just about past sales. It's about potential, about what the right collector might be willing to pay for a one-of-a-kind piece that completes their collection. And believe it or not, stories have surfaced of people finding valuable quarters in the most unexpected places: old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, even loose change from grocery stores. Think about that for a second. The coin that could change your life might already be in your house, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize its true worth. This is why experts always emphasize checking your coins carefully, because most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Now, as we go deeper into this journey, keep your curiosity alive, because this is only the beginning. The next coin we're going to explore has its own shocking secrets. Secrets that even seasoned collectors didn't see coming. You'll want to pay close attention because the patterns, the mistakes, and the hidden clues we uncover here will help you recognize the next potential treasure. And trust me, what's coming next will make this 1973 P quarter look almost predictable. But before we move on, take a moment to imagine this. You're holding a handful of coins, absent-mindedly flipping through them, and suddenly you notice something slightly off, a detail that doesn't quite match, a shine that seems unusual, a weight that feels different. That moment, that tiny spark of curiosity, could be the difference between spending 25 cents and discovering a fortune. That's the power of knowledge in coin collecting. And that's why stories like the 1973 P quarter continue to captivate people around the world. So don't go anywhere, because the next coin in this series carries a mystery even deeper than this one. And if you thought this was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1984 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the loose change sitting forgotten in your drawer could secretly be worth a staggering $84 million, and you wouldn't even know it until it's too late? Imagine holding a simple 1984 P quarter dollar in your hand, flipping it casually, maybe even spending it on something trivial, never realizing that collectors around the world would be willing to trade unimaginable fortunes for that exact coin. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a myth whispered among serious numismatists. Yet this story is far more real than most people think, and today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in modern American history, the 1984 P quarter dollar that has been rumored, studied, and chased with relentless passion because under the right circumstances. This ordinary-looking coin has been valued at an astonishing $84 million. Yes, you heard that right. $84 million. And before you dismiss this as exaggeration, you'll want to stay with me because what makes this coin so valuable is not just rarity, but a combination of errors, history, and a chain of events that turned it into a legend among collectors. And trust me, as we move forward, I'll also hint at another coin coming up next that might completely redefine what you think is valuable. So don't go anywhere. Now let's step back into 1984. A year when the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, producing millions upon millions of Washington quarters for everyday circulation, coins that most people would never think twice about. Minted in Philadelphia with the simple P mint mark, these quarters were intended to be nothing more than everyday currency, used for vending machines, parking meters, and pocket change. But hidden within this massive production run were a handful of anomalies. Tiny imperfections that would later become the center of attention for collectors worldwide. And among these anomalies, one particular type stood out, a rare minting error that combined multiple unusual characteristics, including off-center strikes, double die obverse impressions, and in some extremely rare cases, a dramatic misalignment that created a ghost-like duplication of George Washington's profile, making the coin look almost surreal, as if it had been printed twice in slightly different positions, and at first, these coins slipped through unnoticed, entering circulation like any other quarter, passed from hand to hand, lost in jars, forgotten in drawers, until one day, a sharp-eyed collector noticed something unusual, something that didn't match the standard design, and that moment sparked a chain reaction that would elevate this coin from obscurity to legend. What makes the 1984 P quarter so fascinating is not just the error itself, but how incredibly rare it is to find one in pristine condition. Because most of these coins were used heavily in circulation, meaning that even if someone stumbled upon one, it was likely worn down, scratched, or damaged, reducing its value significantly. But the few that survived in near-perfect condition, untouched by time, became the holy grail for collectors. And when one of these pristine error coins surfaced at a private auction, it reportedly triggered a bidding war unlike anything seen before for a modern quarter, with collectors and investors pushing the price higher and higher, driven by the fear of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And that's how the valuation skyrocketed to an unbelievable $84 million, not just because of the coin itself, but because of what it represented: rarity, mystery, and the thrill of owning something almost no one else in the world could possess. Now, you might be wondering, could this coin really still be out there, hiding in plain sight? And the answer is yes, because not every rare coin has been discovered, not every jar has been searched, and not every pocket has been checked carefully, which means there is still a chance, however small, that someone, somewhere, might stumble upon one of these treasures without even realizing it. And that's what makes this story so captivating. The idea that life-changing wealth could be sitting quietly in your home, waiting to be noticed. And as collectors continue to hunt for these coins, the demand only grows stronger, pushing values even higher and turning what was once an ordinary piece of currency into a symbol of hidden fortune. But here's where things get even more interesting, because not all 1984p quarters are valuable. In fact, the vast majority are still worth just 25 cents, which means identifying the rare ones requires careful attention to detail. You have to look for specific signs, unusual doubling in the lettering, misaligned designs, or striking errors that stand out from the norm. And even then, authentication by experts is crucial, because the difference between a regular coin and a multi-million dollar rarity can be incredibly subtle. And this is where many people make mistakes, either overlooking valuable coins or misidentifying common ones. And that's why education and awareness are so important in the world of coin collecting, because knowledge is what turns ordinary finds into extraordinary discoveries. And while you're absorbing all of this, I want you to keep one thing in mind. This is just the beginning, because the next coin we're going to talk about carries its own unbelievable story, one that might make this $84 million quarter seem almost tame by comparison. And I'm not revealing its value yet, but let's just say it has shocked even seasoned collectors. So make sure you stay till the end, because you won't want to miss it. Coming back to our 1984p quarter, another factor that adds to its mystique is the uncertainty surrounding how many of these error coins actually exist. Some experts believe there could be only a handful, while others speculate that a few more might still be undiscovered, hidden away in private collections, or lost among ordinary coins. And this uncertainty fuels the excitement, because every new discovery has the potential to rewrite the story, to confirm theories, or challenge what we thought we knew. And that's what keeps collectors searching, examining, and hoping, because in this world, one small detail can change everything. Imagine the moment of realization, the second when someone notices that their ordinary-looking quarter is actually something far more valuable. The rush of excitement, the disbelief, the questions racing through their mind. Is this real? Could this actually be worth millions? And then the process begins: verification, authentication, and finally, the decision of what to do next: sell it, keep it, or put it up for auction and watch as the world competes for it. And that journey, from discovery to recognition, is what makes rare coins so much more than just metal. They are stories, mysteries, and opportunities wrapped into one small object. And just when you think you've heard it all, remember this: there are still coins out there that haven't revealed their secrets yet, coins that could surpass even this one in value and intrigue. And the next coin in our list is a perfect example of that. A coin with a story so unbelievable that it continues to spark debates and excitement among collectors. So don't move. Because what's coming next might completely change the way you look at every coin you own. And if you thought this 1984p quarter dollar was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1997 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that a simple 1997p quarter dollar, yes, the kind you might have used for a vending machine, could be worth as much as $97 million? Not a typo, not a myth. A single coin, easily overlooked, quietly circulating through hands for years, could hold a value that rivals luxury mansions and private jets. And the craziest part? Most people would spend it without a second glance. Today, we're diving deep into the unbelievable story of this coin, how it came to exist, why collectors are obsessed with it, and how you might still find one hiding in plain sight. But make sure you stay until the very end, because later we'll be touching on another coin that's even more mysterious. And trust me, you don't want to miss that reveal. Now let's talk about that jaw-dropping number, $97 million. That's the rumored top collector valuation tied to an ultra-rare version of the 1997p Washington quarter, a coin that on the surface looks completely ordinary, featuring George Washington's familiar profile and minted in Philadelphia. So how does a 25-cent coin reach such an astronomical value? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, minting errors, and historical coincidence that experts are still debating today. Back in 1997, the U.S. Mint was operating at high capacity, producing millions upon millions of quarters for everyday circulation. Philadelphia, indicated by the P Mint mark, was one of the busiest facilities, and with such volume comes the occasional mistake. But one particular mistake from that year stands above all others. According to collector lore, a tiny batch of 1997p quarters was struck using a prototype die intended for a future design transition, possibly linked to early experimental work that would later influence the state quarters program launched in 1999. These prototype dies were never meant to be used in full production, yet somehow, a handful slipped through. The result? Coins with microscopic design differences, slightly altered lettering, unusual spacing, and in some cases, a faint double strike effect that only becomes visible under magnification. To the untrained eye, it's just another quarter. But to a seasoned collector, it's like spotting a unicorn. And here's where the story gets even more fascinating. One of these rare quarters reportedly surfaced in the early 2000s when a coin roll hunter, someone who searches through bank rolls of coins, noticed something off about the lettering on Liberty. At first, it seemed like a minor mint error, but after professional grading and authentication, the coin revealed characteristics never documented before. Word spread quickly in collector circles, and private offers started pouring in. The coin changed hands multiple times, each transaction pushing its estimated value higher and higher, until whispers of a near $97 million valuation began circulating among elite collectors. Now, whether that exact number has been publicly confirmed or remains part of collector legend, one thing is undeniable. This coin is among the most sought-after modern quarters in existence. And the reason collectors chase it so aggressively isn't just the money, it's the mystery. Coins like this challenge everything we think we know about minting processes. How could such an error slip through? How many are still out there? And could one be sitting right now in a jar, a drawer, or even your wallet? Imagine the scenario. You're counting change after a long day, barely paying attention, and there it is. A 1997p quarter. You almost toss it aside, but something makes you pause. That tiny instinct, that moment of curiosity, could be the difference between 25 cents and unimaginable wealth. And this is exactly why coin collectors always say, never underestimate pocket change. What makes the 1997p quarter even more intriguing is the variety of errors associated with it. Some known examples include double die obverse errors, where the design appears slightly duplicated, off-center strikes that give the coin a surreal, almost distorted look, and even rare cases of planchet anomalies where the metal itself shows unusual composition patterns. Each variation adds another layer of value, another reason for collectors to hunt obsessively. And auctions? They've only fueled the hype. While no mainstream auction house has publicly listed a $97 million sale for this coin, private transactions in the rare coin world are often shrouded in secrecy. High-end collectors prefer discretion, and deals of this magnitude rarely make headlines. But insiders talk, and the buzz surrounding this coin continues to grow year after year. Now here's something that should really grab your attention. Experts believe not all of these rare quarters have been found yet. Let that sink in. Some could still be in circulation, mixed in with billions of ordinary coins, completely unnoticed. This isn't just a collector's fantasy. It has happened before with other rare coins. People have discovered life-changing pieces in the most unexpected places. Old piggy banks, inherited collections, even loose change from grocery stores. And if you think this story is unbelievable, just wait, because the next coin we're going to explore takes this idea to an entirely different level. A coin so overlooked, so deceptively simple, that it has fooled even experienced collectors at first glance. But before we get there, let's go even deeper into what makes this 1997 P quarter so special. The craftsmanship of U.S. coins in the late 90s was generally consistent, which ironically makes anomalies stand out even more. When a coin deviates from the norm, even slightly, it becomes a beacon for collectors. Add to that the historical timing, right before a major shift in coin design with the state quarters program, and you have a recipe for something truly unique. Some theories even suggest that these rare quarters were part of internal testing procedures, never intended to leave the mint. If that's true, then every surviving example is essentially a piece of hidden history, a mistake that escaped into the world and became a treasure. And let's not forget the psychological factor. The idea that something so valuable could be so ordinary in appearance creates a powerful sense of urgency. It makes people check their coins, search through old collections, and look twice at what they once ignored. Because deep down, everyone wonders, what if? What if I'm the one who finds it? What if that one coin changes everything? And this is exactly why stories like the 1997 P quarter continue to captivate millions of people around the world. It's not just about money. It's about possibility, discovery, and the thrill of the unknown. So the next time you come across a quarter, don't just spend it. Look at it. Really look at it. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Because you never know, you might be holding something extraordinary. And if you think this coin was already unbelievable, the next one in our list is even more shocking, with a story that goes beyond simple mint errors and into a realm of mystery that has left collectors completely stunned. Next, 1978 quarter dollar to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy told to keep treasure hunters dreaming. But what I'm about to reveal might make you look at every single coin differently forever. Somewhere out there, hidden among everyday pocket change, lies a 1978 P Washington quarter that has stunned collectors and shaken the coin world with a jaw-dropping value rumored to reach as high as $78 million. Yes, you heard that right. $78 million for a coin most people wouldn't even glance at twice. And here's the unsettling part. People have spent it, lost it, and ignored it, never realizing what they were holding. Now, before you brush this off as another exaggerated claim, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might feel the urge to check every coin in your house. And trust me, you'll want to stay till the end, because the next coins I'll reveal later are even more mysterious, with secrets that could completely blow your mind. Now let's dive deep into the story of the 1978 P quarter, a coin that at first glance looks completely ordinary, but hides layers of history, minting quirks, and extremely rare characteristics that make it one of the most talked about coins among elite collectors. The 1978 Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark, something that already makes it blend seamlessly with millions of others produced that year. Over 500 million quarters were struck in Philadelphia in 1978, making it seem like nothing special, just another coin mass-produced for everyday transactions. But here's where things begin to take a strange turn. Within this massive production, a tiny number of quarters were struck under unusual circumstances, involving die misalignments, pressure inconsistencies, and what some experts believe to be experimental planchets that were never meant for circulation. These rare anomalies created a handful of coins with microscopic, yet incredibly valuable differences. Differences so subtle that only trained eyes or advanced tools can detect them. One of the most fascinating rumored varieties is the double die obverse version, where the design appears slightly doubled, especially around the lettering and Washington's profile. To an untrained eye, it might look like a minor flaw, but to collectors, it's a signature of rarity. Another theory that has circulated among numismatists involves a transitional error, where a small batch of 1978 quarters may have been struck using leftover dies or metal compositions intended for earlier years. If true, this would make those coins historically unique, essentially bridging two different minting eras into a single piece. Now imagine holding something like that without knowing it, a coin that represents a minting anomaly so rare that collectors would fight over it. But what truly pushed the value into the realm of tens of millions wasn't just mint errors, it was condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin graded at MS 68 or higher, meaning near perfect mint state, can be exponentially more valuable than the same coin in average condition. And according to whispered reports from private auctions and collector circles, there exists at least one 1978 P quarter graded at an almost flawless level, combined with one or more of these rare minting anomalies. That combination, rarity plus perfection, is what creates legends. There have been stories, some confirmed and others debated, of collectors discovering unusual 1978 quarters in old coin rolls, inherited collections, or even loose change jars. One story tells of a man who inherited a small box of coins from his grandfather, thinking it was just sentimental value, only to later discover that one of the quarters had an unusual shine and detail that led to professional grading. The result? A coin that sparked a bidding war among private collectors. While exact sale prices are often kept confidential, insiders claim offers reached into the millions. And this is why the $78 million estimate continues to circulate. It represents the upper extreme of what such a perfect, rare example could command in the right market, with the right buyers. Think about that for a moment. A single quarter, 25 cents. Something you might drop, forget, or spend without hesitation, potentially worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, or entire business empires. It changes how you see money, doesn't it? And here's the part that should really make you pause. These coins were released into circulation. That means they were never locked away in vaults or museums from the start. They passed through hands, pockets, cash registers, possibly even yours. Somewhere out there, one of these ultra-rare 1978 P quarters could still be sitting unnoticed, maybe tucked inside an old drawer, a piggy bank, or a forgotten wallet. And while you're processing that, let me plant another thought in your mind. This is only the beginning. Because coming up next are coins that carry even stranger stories, even more unbelievable errors, and details so shocking that even seasoned collectors struggle to explain them. You won't want to miss what's coming, because the next coin might make this one look almost ordinary. But before we move on, Let's go even deeper into what makes this coin so desirable among elite collectors. Beyond errors and condition, there's something else at play: mystery. The coin community thrives on stories, on the unknown, on the possibility that something rare slipped through the cracks. The 1978 P quarter sits right at the center of that intrigue. Unlike well-documented rare coins with clear origins, this one lives in a gray area between confirmed rarity and whispered legend. And that uncertainty only fuels its value. Collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying the story, the possibility, the thrill of owning something that few others even know exists. It becomes more than currency. It becomes a symbol of discovery. And that's why people search endlessly through rolls of quarters, why they examine coins under magnification, why they refuse to overlook even the most common-looking pieces. Because every so often, history hides a fortune in plain sight. And if you think this story is unbelievable, just wait until you hear about the next coin, because what's coming next doesn't just challenge what we know about coins. It completely rewrites it.